Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you here to, this is a special city meeting, and when we get done with this particular meeting, we'll adjourn and go into the regular city council meeting. This is a truth and taxation meeting. It is August 7th, 2019. Time is, we'll call it 6:05. I've asked Larry Reynolds if he would open with prayer for us. Larry?
Our dear Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful at this time that we have this opportunity to be here at this meeting and take the opportunity to be informed about what goes on pertaining to the city. We're grateful, Father, for the weather we have had, that we have still been receiving moisture in which we continue to need. We're grateful, Father, for the many blessings Thou gives us throughout our daily lives. And we have open minds at this time and be able to have understanding about the things that are said in this meeting. And these things we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Larry. I've asked Chief Bishop if he'd lead us in the pledge.
The audience, please rise and follow the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. We'll go ahead on to B, action items, public hearing, truth and taxation, and adoption of fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. We'll go ahead and turn some time over to Dave and Sarah, and/or Sarah. And Sarah's here, so it's you.
Me?
No, it's you, Sarah.
Mayor and council, it's good to be here. Good morning. So it's the truth and taxation, as you specified. So the notice did go out in the paper, both in the Payson Chronicle and in the Daily Herald. We're grateful that there's public here. And we are proposing a 10% increase, which equates to about $16 per month, or per year increase on a home that's valued at $254,000. So we'll go through some of the information that I prepared for you, and if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay. So we'll start with the truth and taxation, and then we'll go to the budget adoption after we have our public hearing regarding the truth and taxation. So first of all, property tax is always confusing. People hear, oh my gosh, they're going to increase my property taxes. I pay $2,000 a month. That means it's $200. That's not correct. We're only increasing that green sliver, so 11% of your property tax. So if your property tax bill is $2,000, it's only 11% of, or it's the tax increase is only going to affect 11%. So what is that of your $200 that you're paying? Does that make sense? Everybody clear on that? Public? Yes?
So the 10% comes out of that 11%.
Yep, the 10% comes out of that small sliver. The other 11% is city part. Most of our taxes go to the school district. Which
And
we're
we have no
grateful for.
control over that part.
No, we don't. That's the Neenah School District, and they set their own taxes and have the same process if they increase their property taxes. So our property taxes from last year, we had revenue of $1.29 million. And we're proposing to increase to 10%, which would bring in about $131,000. The reason why it's not exactly the same, we had new growth. So if we didn't do the property tax increase, we would have collected $1.3 million. So the 10% increase gives us about $130,000. The annual increase on a $165,000 taxable value, which is a $256,000 market value home, is $19 a year, or $1.16 per month. Questions on that? So here's just another way to look at it. You can see, so our prior tax rate was 0.00128, and the new rate, if you guys adopt it, will be 0.001273. So it's slightly lower than what it was last year. And here's where we fit with all the different cities, this is 2018 rates. I didn't get a chance to update the 2019 rates. But you can see we're in the bottom third, and we're probably still there because Alpine is a little bit higher than we are. So this increase would not bump us up on that. So we do have low property tax rates. And then here's where we fit when you take our average monthly utility rates combined with our property tax rates. The average cost, you can see we're slightly below average. So we're not low, we're not high, but that's good because we're trying to keep up with the cost increase. As our infrastructure is aging, it costs money to keep those up and running. And as we've seen, we have a sewer line. It's important to keep our rates high. I was talking to Provo and their financial analyst. He said it's so important that we start increasing rates because we've fallen so far behind. They always, you know, we're so proud of themselves for having the lowest rate, and now they're catching themselves in a bit of a mess too because they haven't kept up on their infrastructure. So the proposal for using the Truth in Taxation is our phone system. We've had a lot of complaints. It's really hard to get through to the front office or anywhere. Our phone system is pretty antiquated. So I think that would be a well-spent item right there. And then $50,000 for branding. Yeah.
We don't have any bids yet on the phone system. We're just estimating right now. And so then we would send it out for bid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we had bids a few years ago. Steve had bids, and was it around 50,000 back then? So it was 50,000. So we did buffer it hopefully, but who knows?
Okay.
You would hope technology would get
Better?
better, cheaper. But
Sometimes it gets better and more expensive.
yeah,
So that's good. We've had a lot of emails come through about people who claim they call it, they hate spending money, but I think if residents can't get through to the offices, that's more frustrating for them, and that's poor service. And so I hope residents understand that. I know Tara back here has commented to me a few times that she called and couldn't get a hold of anyone. And so it's important our phones are working properly.
and your website.
Well, I've got comments on that later on, but.
And that's in the budget, so. Hey, and that's all I've got as far as the property tax increase. So if you want to open it up to the public, or I'm free to answer questions.
Okay, we'll go ahead. If there's
A motion to open a public hearing, I'll entertain that.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion that's been seconded. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Please step to the mic, state your name and address, and speak clearly. Try to limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. And please limit your comments to either agree or disagree with the previous comments. Please don't try to put any new information in. So if we have anybody who would like to come up and address us, certainly is the time to do that.
I have a question. I don't need to address, just a question. On this 80,000 that you're saying up here, is that the initial cost of upgrading, or is that upgrading and continuing to operate it or maintain it to keep it up? Is
That's
that just a one-time fee, or, okay, then if that's a one-time fee, where does the money go next year? This is going
Good question.
That's what we'll have to decide as city council and staff.
In their budget next year. It can be used for staff or roads or parking lots, whatever.
There'll be no problem finding a place for it.
I'm sure of that.
Yep.
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, unless we have someone who would like to come up and address us, I'm not seeing anyone. We'll go ahead, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, moved and seconded. We'll call for a vote. All in favor of closing public hearing?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, well then we'll go ahead and have, is there any council discussion other than what we've already had regarding the truth in taxation?
No, the only comment I have is on branding, and I'm really excited for branding. I think it's long overdue. It's one of those things that people see and like, well, why do you need that? But I think with the growth that's coming and everything else like that, it's important that we send out the message. I want to make sure that it's done right, and so I'm glad that we've appropriated some money, but we don't have to necessarily use it by September, correct? We can still have that discussion and use it any time in the next year that's appropriate to make sure that the rollout is.
Is right.
Okay. That's my big concern, is I mean, if we can get it done in September, there's been some talk of that I'm okay, but I don't want to roll it out
Correct.
unless we can do it properly.
That's right. Don't want to waste anything.
Yeah.
Time or money.
And I think it's also important to note on this, some people watch this at home and some people read transcripts, and most people don't, but we sent out a lot of surveys and we've talked to a lot of residents. That doesn't mean we talk to everybody, but we've opened it up for a lot of people. So this is something that we've reached out and got a lot of public input on.
That money will be available for the whole budget year.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go on to motion on the resolution.
To increase the property tax.
Brett, did you have anything? Councilman?
Oh, yeah, Brett, I forgot. Oh, you're okay, Brett?
I'm good.
Okay. Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, Brett went on vacation, but wanted to be part of our city council meeting tonight, and so he is called in. Would like to excuse Brian. He's in an area where he does not have cell service, so we're thankful that Brett can be with us.
Okay, so the rate that you are adopting is the one down in the purple, so the .0012728.
Okay, I guess just waiting for a motion.
Let me pull it up here.
Or a resolution, I guess, on the resolution. Motion on the resolution.
I would make a motion that we approve the truth in taxation, that we adopt the fiscal year 2019-2020. Are we adopting the budget or
No, this is the tax rate.
just the tax rate?
You're
Okay,
adopting-
I make the proposal that we adopt the tax rate of .0012728.
Mark, did you wrap those all in one resolution, the budget and the truth in taxation?
No.
Oh, that is it. Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
I'll second
Okay, then the motion's been made and it's been seconded. Roll call vote, starting with Councilwoman Hyatt.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion, we got a fourth one. Motion carries unanimously. Keep forgetting you're not here physically, Britt. Okay, then we move on to the ordinance. I'd accept a motion on an ordinance.
Are we going to go through this first?
Yeah,
Okay,
so, sorry.
you better do that
Yes. So,
before we do the motion.
we've gone through this multiple times, but for those maybe who haven't been here, I'll just do a quick summary, and then if anybody has questions when you do your public hearing. Is this a public hearing? No, we already had the public hearing. Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so in the budget, we have 4 new police officers. 1 is a school resource officer, and 3 are contracted with the hospital. We have a small engine mechanic. Park foreman position was made to a park superintendent position. The part-time athletic field position was made a full-time position, and a full-time reporter, and a solid waste equipment operator. So those are the personnel that were added to the budget this year.
What does the change to a superintendent position mean? Is it change in the pay rate?
Yes. So it changes the job description, the pay rate. Is Melanie here? No. So the job, this is Mark, we're trying to replace Mark Hyland.
Right.
Mark Hyland, I don't know why I did that. Mark Hyland is retiring in January, I believe. And so trying to figure out how they were gonna replace him, they broke out the golf and parks. So it didn't affect our budget because of the way we structured Mark's position.
So what does the golf greens position do in the winter time? Are they, I honestly don't know. Is Tracy here?
They're in an interview right now
Oh, okay.
for that job.
I know they do a lot of maintenance. Whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that they've got stuff all year long, but I'd be interested to know like the level
And then
of work
I know they
to
have
warrant
lighting up
a
Christmas
superintendent.
trees and,
Okay.
yeah. And I know they get a lot of overtime during the summer as well, so I don't know
Sure.
if they have
Yeah, I know
time
they-
that they need to
right,
take
right.
off during the winter time. But yeah, that might be a good question.
So they go
for
salary, so superintendent versus
Tracy.
hourly?
It should be salary. Mhm. Yeah. Any more questions?
What's our salary? How many hours can they work before we have to pay them overtime?
Nothing.
That's their,
No.
their,
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah,
school teacher
that's the
now.
beauty of salary, right?
Well, it depends on where you work.
Yeah. Or if you're the one working, right? Okay. I don't know why that's disconnecting me. Hopefully it will reconnect.
So,
Yes.
I'm just kind of curious what the thought process was behind changing them. Is it that we feel like they've already been doing on both of those superintendent positions? What is the thought process behind changing them to a superintendent position?
I think it was the way to help with Mark, because Mark is basically the superintendent for golf and the superintendent for parks and the superintendent for the cemetery. So we're trying to eventually get people so they're not doing multiple
Sure.
jobs. So this was a good opportunity that Blair retired and Mark retired. It was a good transitional phase.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, well, I just wondering, because some people we put underneath the superintendent, and now they're both superintendents, so that's,
I think,
like we've got Donna back here, for example, that's underneath someone. What's the
well,
need?
the superintendents are under Tracy
Okay.
as well. But-
Oh, I'm thinking department heads.
Oh,
I
yeah, not
apologize.
department head.
No,
I apologize.
And we had two separate,
No, I'm okay with that. For some reason, I was thinking department head versus,
yeah.
Because Mark was a superintendent.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
No, that was,
they do
you
better
know,
than
thinking clearly.
people.
Yeah, no, I agree. I understand.
Okay. Just some
I'm a
clarification.
little slow sometimes.
No, that's good. Thanks for asking questions. Okay, so in our budget, we have $20,000 for a new website, which I'm sure the public will be happy about. And the $80,000 phone system, that's in there. $15,000 for the trail near Barnett School. $18,000 for coil replacements and any other city center improvements. And our sales tax is doing great. It's up about $200,000. I can't remember right off the top of my head what number that is. I should know, but I'm not going to throw out a number. I can't remember. But our sales tax is doing well, which is good. We've had an increase in development and inspection fees, so that's good. It helps with our budget. We've included $25,000 for a lobbyist, and I believe that lobbyist you guys are going to use to help try to get funding for.
For the I-15, the new I-15 interchange, you bet.
Perfect. $15,000 for the golf tournament. That's where you guys try to bring in businesses. Jason's open for business, which is good to try to drum up business here for Jason. And then $10,000 for a public information contract. There's various options we talked about, an intern or maybe someone part-time, someone that can be our public relations.
We need that as much as, if not more than,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's-
very important position
Yeah.
in today's world.
On the lobbyist, do we have anything where he reports back to us? Sometimes I know people pay lobbyists and they get just enough done to keep you hanging on the contract for another year. Like, do we get reports back or can we get, the mayor or Dave to report back to us on what their progress is?
Well, what we did last year, and we budgeted the same for this year, is we've been going through Mountain Land Association of Governments to combine with other cities
Right.
to get more bang for our buck, I guess,
Sure.
for the amount. So I don't know on our own if that amount would.
No,
get us very
no,
far.
right.
So we do work through MAG, and
I meet with John Sager quite regularly, if not.
I'd just like to have reports
Once a
back
month,
from
if not
time to time,
more.
or, for Pam, where are we at right now? What are we doing?
Which we've had those conversations ongoing.
we'll try to report those back to the.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because we do, and the mayor meets with Sean quite
Yeah.
often, and we try to get updates.
Okay.
You bet.
Okay, so here's just an overview of all the different budgets that we have. We have the general fund, that's our main operating one, that's where the parks, streets, police, admin. Oh, thanks, Mark. And then we have various utility funds, which are called enterprise funds, and then park tax, their special special revenue funds. So you can see that we balanced the budget with a surplus of $340,000. The general, the reason that's negative is because I didn't include the truth in taxation. So I wanted to make sure that passed before I included that. So with the truth in taxation, we will balance almost dollar for dollar. So we've got a balanced budget, which is good. Here's just an idea of expenditures. So the general fund is the biggest budget for Payson City, and then electric is right there behind it. Any questions on that information? And just a quick overview of where the funds are spent. 28 goes to operating, 27 to personnel, and 28 to capital expenditures. We've done really well to try to put more money into capital expenditures the past couple of years to try to keep our infrastructure current and fix any current deficiencies that we may have. Our revenues, you can see most of our revenues, almost half is made up of tax revenues, and the next biggest part is our contributions and transfers that we make within budgets to each other, different funds, and various other revenues coming in. The employees, it's always a challenge to offer competitive packages for employees to keep them here and to be current and competitive with other cities and other organizations. So we try really hard to look at those every year. Melanie does a good job of trying to keep those competitive and current. So we've changed the buyout, and then we also changed, we kept the health insurance plans the same, but the premiums did increase 10%. So projects, we've already went over some of those in the general fund. The ball fields, those are tied in with Woodbury. Are those still moving forward, Dave? Okay, so those are still moving forward. Water, we're going to be working on installing PI meters. That will help with conservation, and it will help to encourage people to conserve, and maybe we can track how much someone is watering instead of other people trying to tattle on each other. So hopefully it will do away with the negativity within the city. But there's quite a few projects here in the water that you can see, and we just finished a big one, which will be the PI lines. Wastewater, they've got the West Outfall line that collapsed. They'll be working on that we had a bond for. Jet truck, and then a few others. Solid waste, they paid off the compactor, and they're going to continue to pay off their waste reduction, the grinder that will help conserve space out there at the landfill that they need.
Sorry.
But please ask questions. It's
This
great.
isn't necessary budget, but we've dropped below 50% on our recycling. The recycling directly affects how much we spend on the solid waste. If we're putting less in the landfill, that'll save us money in the long run. And I don't know how many people know that, but to add additional cells in the landfill is millions of dollars, which is more than you would pay in your $5 a month recycling fee. So I think it might be beneficial to maybe talk about that. You know, we kind of leave it to Republic to talk about because they're the ones that are collecting and it's a pass-through, but I think there's some benefit for the citizens currently and long-term too. That maybe we need to start helping Republic out.
And I was going to have Republic come over, have a discussion with the council probably in September, October.
Okay.
But we are tied into the contract with them for 2 more years. 2.5 more years. And yeah, we need to do something with recycling if we're going to continue to do it.
Right.
Okay, so storm drain, he's got a couple different projects, the 200 North, 200 West, Piper Creek, and he's going to build a shop addition. He's got equipment that just sits out there, and he'd like to be able to store trucks and equipment and keep it out of the sun and keep it from deteriorating as quickly.
On the Save Up for 800 West project, how long do we think that's going to take?
No, I don't even
Like,
know.
is that like a 5-year out plan? Is that like a couple years
I
out?
think so. I want to say it's a few years.
Couple years?
It's a big
Right,
project.
because I know that's a problem every year, so
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that on there, but
Yep. He's trying to save as much as he can, so then we don't have to bond for it.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. But. Okay, electric, they are working on a new distribution circuit on 8 South and a reconductor line on 300 South. BNC tries to use those funds as much as he can to repair roads, deal with potholes. It's amazing how quickly that budget goes. We get a set amount from the Class C, the B and C funds, and it goes pretty quickly, and he tries to prioritize where those funds are spent. So there's just a few of the projects. The CDBG project, the 500 West, that's a big project that ate up quite a bit of his budget in this year and last year.
And that's going to help the children as they leave Taylor Elementary to potentially go be safer, so they don't have to walk on the road.
Yeah.
And just for your information, that Edge Mill on Utah Avenue, that's scheduled to start very quickly, like in a week. So that project should be accomplished over here.
Okay, and then revolving loan, that's our internal loan that we loan to the different departments. They pay us back instead of paying the bank interest, they're paying us interest. It helps so we can get newer fleet, newer equipment in place in different departments. So there's a few items on there. Any questions on those? And then just unfunded projects, we've got parking lots. The library is a huge issue. It really needs to be addressed, but it's probably $300,000 at least to get that parking lot addressed. The cemetery building desperately needs to be updated. I went and took a little field trip with Dave and Mark, and yeah, it's pretty bad. Parks and trails, it's always an issue. Fencing for the ball fields, it needs to be replaced, and of course, you always can use more staff. So there's quite a few needs.
On the fencing for the ball fields, is that for the new ball fields?
New.
It's the ones on Main Street to replace the damaged fencing as well as to do some extension
Oh,
backstop. Yep, the ones by that.
So it's on the ones that are getting moved?
No.
So as far as the library parking lot, we really need to get that done. As far as this, Kent had an engineer design the roadway on Utah Avenue.
Yeah.
We crossed, and we included in that a design of doing the parking lot. So that design's done. We just need to find some funding. We'll probably come back to you. We may have to do a budget amendment, but we'd like to get that parking lot done this budget year.
How much of that parking lot is ours? Does Total Fitness participate in that? Or is it all Payson City?
Through the survey, it's not, the city parking lot goes right up to the building on the back.
Oh, it does? So Payson residents can park there anytime they want?
And we've got to work that out with them. I think they still put the signs that it's only for them, but
Yeah, because I noticed that, and I don't, if it's their parking lot, I don't care if they put the signs there. But if they're not going to participate in the upgrade, then, and it's our parking lot, then they need to take the signs down.
So we had our surveyor survey that, and we're confident that it goes to the buildings. Those of you that have lived here a long time, that used to be Safeway, and the parking was always in the front. There wasn't even a door in the back. So we're pretty confident that the parking lot is the city's. And so we just need to work with them to, their patrons can still park there, but anybody else can park there, right?
Well, they're a good business, but they
Yeah.
participate in the parking lot for you.
Also, I just don't want talking about that parking lot. I'd like to be able to relocate those garbage things,
I think he put that in his design. I've got to look at the design.
because I know they're right in front of our new mural.
Mural.
We can't even see it, so,
That's what I understood, that they'll have a place for it.
okay, thank you.
And the reason that parking lot's so expensive is the Teton Creek goes right under that. So there are things underneath the parking lot that needs to be taken care of before we resurface it.
Okay, any other questions? Good discussion. Okay. That's
Okay,
it, that's
yes,
all I've got.
unless there's any more discussion by council, I'm ready for a motion on the ordinance.
You got it? So to make the motion that we approve the 2019-2020 Payson City budget.
Okay, motion's been made, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion has been seconded. We'll do by roll call vote. We'll start with Councilman Christensen. You still with us?
I am. Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll go to C, adjourn from this special city council meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn from the.
second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.